Hello everyone, my name is Frances and welcome back to another one of my studio vlogs. I am currently researching tote bags, so I'm going to be a bit more, this is like unlike me, because usually when I think about doing things and have like little projects, I tend to take like a very long time actually making like a final decision, which is why it just takes me so long to do stuff. So I found this company that supplies like wholesale tote bags and canvas bags and organic bags basically, and I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna buy some tote bags from them. They're local. I like to sort of like try and source stuff that's locally as much as I can. I also want to have some bags that are made from organic cotton, like unbleached, natural, good quality basically. So I'm just trying to be environmentally conscious as well. The reason for the tote bags is because I've been wanting to do tote bags for a while. So if you haven't sort of watched any of my previous vlogs, I do sort of fantasy style artwork. I work mainly in pastel, but I'm just getting myself into lino cutting. So I had the idea of printing my lino cut designs onto fabric, and I wanted to get some like blank tote bags, and I wanted to get some blank t-shirts as well, and like blank pieces of fabric that I can just print onto. And I've just been working on a sort of like a mini collection, or I'm trying to sort of get a mini collection out at the moment. Kind of in time for like Halloween. It's not like, I wouldn't say it's like Halloween themed, but I suppose it could be. But I've done one illustration so far, which is my cat witch, which I can quickly show you. So this is going to be like a bookmark design. Apology for the like the finger marks on the iPad, but it's like a little cat witch design. And I was working on a sketch which I will show you. So this sketch I showed in the previous vlog, but I've actually been working on it and I've basically made it nicer. So beforehand it was kind of scruffy, but this is the new sketch, which is this one. So I've got like reflection showing back, but so it's a cat witch. I'm hoping that it's in focus. Is it in focus? The problem with this camera. Okay, I might have to unfocus. I've done her sort of like she looks like a little mini tiger, and she's sitting on a pile of books. So that was going to be another bookmark design. I started sketching this out in pastel. So I do all my pictures in pastel. Unfortunately, and I've mentioned this before in other vlogs, is trying to get a bookmark design is very difficult because it's like tall and narrow, and I'm having problems with this being big enough for me to actually work on with pastels. So I use like pastel pencils, but with pastel it's very hard to work in a small illustration and in doing like small like detail pieces. You have to work usually quite large, and first of all I did this on like an A4 size piece of pastel paper, and it just wasn't, I knew within sort of like the first 20 minutes of me sort of working on it, it wasn't going to work basically. So I started again. So I thought what I'll do is try and separate the picture. So I thought I could just do the cat on one piece of paper, and then I can just do the books on another bit of paper. So I tried doing that. It didn't work. So the image is still too small, because this is drawn out in a very tall, like when you sort of blow this up, it's very tall and narrow, and for me to get it to a size that I can kind of comfortably work at, it would have to be like big, like, can't see it in the picture, but yeah, it'd have to be, I'll have to have a big bit of paper. I'd have to order some new paper, and I'd have to take it into town. There's a shop in town that I can get like large pieces of artwork scanned, so I'd have to do that, but that's just like more expense. I'm trying to work on like A4 size bits of paper because that's what I've got, and also that fits in my A4 scanner. So I was just sat here thinking, like, what could I do? Like, I was trying to think, could I do the picture in like 3 sections or something? And I just don't want to do that. I don't want to sort of like chop up the picture because I don't even know if it will work anyway. But I've got like, I really like the sketch and I want to do something with it. So I think what I might try doing is, I still want to do this as a bookmark, but I think what I'll try and use watercolor and pen, because I am sort of like familiar with using like watercolor, and I can do all the like detail in pen. It will look kind of, obviously it's a different medium, so it would look different to sort of like all of my other artwork, which is all in pastel. But I can't do this in pastel. I've tried twice, and I've used 2 bits of paper that I can't reuse again. And obviously all I have to transfer this, all my sketches, is just my iPad. So if you've seen like my previous vlogs, you've seen me like just use my iPad, put like a bit of paper, like greaseproof paper on top, and like transfer the sketch onto like my pastel paper. So yeah, so I'm going to try doing that in watercolor, and I'm also going to try doing it as a liner cutting. Obviously I wouldn't have the full sketch. I would just probably have just the cat and maybe like, you know, just see her sitting on a few of the books. But I'd have to do, I do have like a big, I did buy like a big bit of like A3 size like lino cutting, like the lino. So yeah, this is like the lino. This is just like a little small bit that I've got. Yeah, and I thought that would look nice. I could probably do that maybe on a, print it on a tote bag. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's difficult when you do stuff small, like when you do a small sketch, but it's in that kind of ratio of it being like in a certain size. Does that make sense? So it's very tall. Does that make sense? So when it gets bigger, it just gets like taller and longer. But I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know. This is like the sort of thing that I'm just kind of figuring out with, because I'm not like a digital artist. I don't have enough like experience or like confidence to actually do a finished digital piece. I just use this to do my sketching, to do like designs like notepads and bookmarks and whatever, just also to clean up my final images. Nice little like intro, like welcome, I'm all stressed and annoyed basically. So I can show you this. So this is my pastel paper. So this is like, it's long, it's wider than A4, but I put just the cat on here, and I started it, and I was just like, no, it's absolutely awful. I can't get the detail that I want. I can't get the image looking how I want it to, how like my style is. It just looks awful, and it's really difficult, and it just ends up looking messy and sloppy, and it doesn't even look like it's actual pastel that I've used neither. So yeah, and this is the bit, like, that's the tallest I can get it, and it's still like a really tiny image because it's just so like narrow. But yeah, so it's been a few days since I last filmed. It's currently Saturday, so it's a couple of days before this vlog actually goes up, and I'm in the middle of editing, and I'm retaking this clip basically. So I was talking for like 40 minutes, and I was just like, I can't edit all of this, and it's just gonna make it too long, and I'm just waffling basically, which I tend to do. So what I wanted to show you were a couple of magnetic bookmarks that I've got planned. So the first one is my cat fawn. So this is the illustration that I was working on last week, and I'm going to have her as like a normal size, like regular bookmark, and also a magnetic bookmark. And I'm going to do a mushroom magnetic bookmark as well, because I thought that would be quite nice for autumn. Okay, so the other thing that I was working on is a list pad notepad. So this is actually like a requested notepad, and it's of my owl. So I did a little illustration for my last launch, which was in June, and did sort of like a bookish kind of launch. So I did this little owl illustration, which you can see he's in the bottom corner there, and the little gold embellishments around the border, I actually drew that out in Procreate, which I was quite pleased with, because in my last clip I know I was saying that I wasn't very confident in doing any kind of digital illustrations. I certainly wouldn't be able to do like a full illustration, but just to do like a little embellishment, I just feel like, yeah, I could probably do something. So if I was sort of wanted to do like a border around a bookmark just like this, I could probably do something like a little digital something basically. So I'm going to play around with it. I'm probably going to put this back into Procreate. I might do a continuous board, where all the gold embellishments are all joined up together. But yeah, so I use Canva to sort of mainly do my notepads on, and also if I'm doing like my newsletter, and also when I do my YouTube like thumbnails as well. So the other thing as well is that I bought Prints by Millie. So Millie, and her business is called Prints by Millie. She's done an ebook just for small businesses, and it's really, really good. I definitely recommend. So if you're like a small business, and she's just got one at the moment, and I think she's planning on doing another one, but she talks about how to grow like your audience. It's come at a really good time, because I've been looking for a little while of how to help me in my business. I've been sort of like trying to look for like resources, and there hasn't really been anything I felt like that would help me, and that's for me, that's like a small creative individual. And I've just been sort of like, so we just saw like a quick clip of me just sort of like sat down writing. So I've just been filling out, going through her little like bullet points, and she's got like things that you would ask, like questions to answer basically, and just kind of like working out like what your brand is and who your sort of like audience, who you're trying to target, like your target audience or your ideal audience, and what kind of products you want to make for them. I think my audience are just people who are just like a bit like me, who just, you know, who like similar things. And that's what I kind of want to do in terms of like my content, is that I want to be honest. I want to show you, you know, a bit about me, like just behind, not just like my art, but also things I'm interested in. Just be a bit more myself. Like it's still like early days in terms of like YouTube content and stuff. I'm still trying to get my head around like what to post, this is really handy because she talks about creating like a schedule and just kind of being okay with like recycling stuff, because I really struggle with posting content because I'm always feel like I have to post something completely new. So that is something that I need to do, is to plan like an actual schedule of like content and kind of stick to that. I think that's something I'm really struggling with, and she does talk about that, and how you can kind of fit it in around your life, and make it work for you basically, so you're not like stressing out having to like post stuff or feeling like you're sort of like always having to be present all the time. The clips are a bit out of sync, so I've actually finished the actual line work of this watercolour which I'm working on. I haven't actually started it yet. I've just had a few things that come up, but I'm going to start filming that like next week, like the process. Hopefully it all works out. I haven't done any watercolour illustrations for a while, so fingers crossed it goes well. I would love to be able to do this illustration as an actual pastel picture. I think it'll look really nice. I might tweak it, like I might change it somehow so I can have her like the librarian cat witch on like an A4 bit of paper somehow. But yeah, in the meantime I'm just sort of like trying to get things up together for this like little mini launch that I've got planned. I've got it planned probably like early October, so yeah, I need to get my butt in gear and try and sort of like have things finished, and then I can kind of order stuff, because obviously the closer you get to like Christmas, manufacturers tend to get really busy, so it can take longer for things to get sort of manufactured basically. So yeah, in terms of like Christmas stuff, I don't think I'm going to have anything. I don't think I'm going to bring out anything, just because I had like a big launch in June, and I still have like loads of stuff to sell. So yeah, so we'll see. So here I'm just starting out with the line work. So I'm using two different types or two different sizes of black fine liner pen. The watercolour paper that I'm using is the Archer's hot press paper, and so far it's been the best watercolour paper that I've tried so far. I've tried different types, like different brands, and Archer's is definitely the best that I've tried so far. So I do recommend them if you're starting out in watercolour and you're sort of looking for a paper to try. It can be a little bit pricey, but it is a premium professional grade paper, and it's been the best paper that I've tried so far. I'm going to end the vlog here, so thank you very much for watching. If you want to leave a like or a comment or even a follow, that would be amazing. That would help my channel out. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. So have a good rest of your week and goodbye.